Hi, I'm Emma Lou, the Creative Director with Heartfelt Creations. Today I'm bringing you some techniques that you can utilize when lining up your stamps and dies. There's a couple different ways you can do this, so join me and we'll learn this together and you'll be cutting out your stamps and dies in no time. If you purchase a single stamp that has a coordinating die, what you're going to do is just ink it up and stamp it like you normally would. And normally I stamp my images first. If you have a couple sizes that you're wanting to cut out, you could stamp a couple of them at a time. So this is the vintage floret, and you'll notice that on the back of the stamp I drew an arrow. So when I'm stamping, I always have that arrow going up. That's because this petal looks the most different to me, and this flower is not symmetrical. So that makes it, when you're lining it up with the die, it's very easy. That means this flower petal will match up with this. Now I make a template so I can see exactly where this is going to line up with my stamped image. To make the template is actually very easy to do. I'm going to pull this off and we'll make a template from scratch so you can see that. Just take a piece of cardstock. If you have a new die and you need to make templates for a couple of your stamped images or your couple of your dies, all you need to do is just tape each one of them to a piece of cardstock. So to start out, we'll just tape that down. I made sure that there's tape on the outside edge and in the center. Then we'll run that through your machine. So if you're doing this at home, you can stamp, or you can add the die to a couple different pieces of cardstock and run a couple sizes through at a time. This will speed up the process. When you bring this out, the first time you do this, just release it from the back. Don't lift up this die and try to pull it out from the center. Just pop it out from the bottom. And with the tape in place, you can just lift this up, and that will ensure that you can see exactly where that's going to line up to cut out. So I'm just going to pull that out, and we'll put this down on our paper and line that up. Once it's lined up, we'll just press the tape down in the middle, since this die has an opening in the middle. In the next one I'll show you how to tape it on the outside, since that one does not have an opening in the middle. So once again, just line that up, and once it's lined up, just press it down, and you're ready to run that through your machine. This is the Sun-Kissed Fleur die, and we have a couple dies that cut out a bunch of flowers at once. So if you have a die that is all connected like this and the blade's in the center, just take a piece of cardstock and put two pieces of tape down. That really helps to hold it better when you're running it through and making your template, lining it up with the stamps. So you'll see that it's sticking outside the edges, so just make sure that that's pressed down carefully, and then you'll run this through your machine. When I'm running it through the machine, since this is a bigger one and I'm using the Cuttle Bug, I'm just going to put a shim on the top just to make that it's a little bit tighter and that I get a little bit more of a better cut when I'm running that through. So once that comes out, I'll just release the pieces that it cut. Just check the back, see that gave a really nice crisp cut. Then we'll go back and I'll use my stylus and I'll just pop those flowers from the bottom. I'll just do that to the small ones. They're usually the ones that are stuck in there a little bit more. But what's great about the combination of all these flowers connected is you can cut out 10 to 12 flowers at once, which really speeds up the process of lining up the stamps with the coordinating dies. I'll just pop this out and we'll bring these to the side. So here I just stamped the Sun-Kissed Fleur to the background. This was just done with a brown chalk ink. Then what you're going to do is just lift this up. First time you do this, you'll just kind of pull it away because it is stuck into the die. But this is your template. And you can reuse the template until the tape breaks or it moves from the cut line. And when I do line this up, especially if it's a large die like this, I do tend to focus on the corner, so I'll be looking at this corner and that one. And once that's lined up, I'll just hold that paper in place, just pop that down, then press the tape down on the ends here. So that's why it's important to make sure that this tape sticks out the end. So that secures it. Then you're ready to run that through the machine that cuts out all 10 of those stamp flowers at once. On this one I stamped the Ariana Blooms. This is all connected as a background stamp. I usually do it in brown so that you can color it any color you want, and then you have a lot of different options when you go to shape your flowers. With this one, once I have it stamped, this die has the blade on the inside edge. That means that you don't have to make a template. So for this one, all you have to do is just lay this on top. And once this inside flower, you can kind of see that looks off center, once the inside edge is completely lined up with the stamped image, you can just go back and press down your tape, and that will cut that out very beautifully. So if your die has the blade on the edge, just tape it down and you'll be good to go. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I recommend doing this with the video about 5 or 6 times till it clicks and you're like, I can do this without thinking. So have fun trying this at home. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.